Hi, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha shirt psychic without the Aloha shirt today. And as many of you know, um, I just had oropharyngeal cancer, and this is one of my follow-up videos. And so I thought, everybody was asking how I'm doing. So I thought I would just come on live this morning and give you an update. Today's my first day back to work, but I'm only seeing 2 clients because the doctor doesn't want me to strain my voice too much. I've lost about 10 pounds. I think I'd like to lose about 5 more, call it a day. I'm getting into clothes I haven't gotten into in 2 or 3 years because cancer can do that, right? When I was first diagnosed with cancer, before we knew the type, well, I knew it was tonsil cancer, but didn't know the type, didn't know anything. You tend to spiral. Every little ache, every little pain, I thought, oh my God, did the cancer spread? Has it colonized somewhere else? Has it done this? Has it done that? But once I met with a surgeon, and once I got the CAT scan, which didn't show any lymph node involvement, she reassured me that this cancer is very curable. So I had options, as I've said before, and the options were either surgery or radiation therapy. And, Dr. Stenson is absolutely amazing. Her team is wonderful. I hope you never have to see her for cancer, but if you do get cancer in the oropharyngeal cavity, she's the person to see. But anyway, she explained everything. And she said I had options. So I could either have surgery or have radiation therapy. And I decided on surgery, one, because I wanted the cancer out, and two, because of some of the long-term effects of radiation. But, you got to do what you got to do. So on July the 7th of 2023, I underwent a radical right tonsillectomy. Now, this is just more than removing a tonsil. It involves removing the tonsil, the tumor behind it, which in my case was 2.7 by 1.7 centimeters, and to get clean margins in the tissue. Clean margins means that the margin of the tissue they cut out shows no cancerous cells. She did all that on the inside. And I'm looking at my notes here, my surgical notes. It says that, let's see, there was a buccal fat transfer, and I think what that means is they take some fat to fill in that space that's, that hole that's left, so they can do a closure. Obviously, when they cut the outside of my neck, well, on the inside, they did what's called a right lingual artery ligation. That just means they clamp the artery off that supplies your tongue and stuff like that, so you won't bleed to death. Anyway, so they got the tumor, and then you can see the scar on the outside of my neck here. This is where she did a neck dissection, it's called, and she removed 13 lymph nodes. And we just got the pathology results back from that, and they were negative for cancer, thank goodness. So she's calling it a stage 1. Now, this Dr. Stenson is absolutely amazing. She came highly recommended from 5 doctors who didn't even know each other. And I thought, this is a lady I want to see. Interesting story, a friend of mine, hi Bev, Beverly's a wonderful intuitive and psychic medium, but she's also a flight attendant. And I think she was flying back from Rome, and she started talking to a passenger on the aircraft. And the passenger ended up being a head and neck cancer surgeon in LA. And Beverly told this lady about my diagnosis. And the lady was like, well, if he's in Chicago, have him see Dr. Kirsten Stenson. So that clinched it. Talk about synchronicity. So I went to see her. And like I said, she told me I had options. So I chose the surgery. And here I am. I hope nobody out there is diagnosed with this. But if you notice any kind of sore throat, I don't care if it's just scratchy, if there's some kind of hoarseness in your voice, if there's feels like you got a grain of rice or something stuck in your throat, go see an ear, nose, and throat specialist immediately. Immediately. You know, my symptoms were subtle. I just sometimes felt like I had something caught in my throat. And I noticed when I looked at my past videos on YouTube, sometimes I would sound hoarse. And I thought, it's really hoarse. But I didn't notice it at the time. One day I was brushing my teeth and this gnarly, I found blood on the toothbrush and I opened my mouth really wide, shocker for me. And I saw this gnarly looking thing on my tonsil. And thank God I did, because had I not, I would have just ignored it. So immediately went to, the dentist, went to an oral surgeon. They put me on antibiotics for about a week. It got better. But there was still a little place out there I didn't like the looks of. So I followed up. And it's a good thing I did. My intuition just wouldn't let it go. That intuition hits. It's like an obsession. Wouldn't let it go. So thank goodness I did. When I saw the physician's assistant on Friday, she said, I'm doing incredibly well. Most people 2 weeks post-op are still on liquid diets. It's hard to swallow, no pun intended. So, and they're still on the narcotics. As of now, I'm off all the narcotics. I'm handling, the pain with Tylenol. There's exercises I have to do daily, like this. I have to turn my head a certain way, like that. Massage the scar. And you have to do these exercises because when they cut the inside of your mouth and the neck dissection as well, there's a nerve that runs through here, and this controls how you shrug your shoulders and things like that. And also doing the exercises helps break up scar tissue. This nerve controls this. And so you don't want that to feel stiff. I can feel it back in here, believe it or not. So I'm doing the exercises 3 or 4 times a day or whatever I can think of it. My voice is still a little hoarse. And it's still painful, but it's getting better every day. I'm getting back to going from a soft diet to a regular diet, but I have to eat tiny bites. And the hardest thing to swallow is water, or anything like with the viscosity of water. So you have to take tiny sips like that. Because if you don't, I got too much confidence when I took too big of a gulp, and that comes back up through my nose. So, when I first was at home the first few days, that was rough. The pain was tough. I'd have a hard time sleeping at night because I would cough a lot, because all of the fluids, like saliva, stuff like that, gathers in the back of your throat. But it's getting better. In the beginning, I couldn't even exhale through my nose. I could inhale. See, I still have a hard time with it. And if I turn my head a certain way, then I can't. But I'm still on some steroids to help with the swelling. There we go. That was a good exhale. So what I'm doing is breathing in through my nose, breathing out through my mouth. But the doctor says that'll get better. My husband tells me that since the surgery, it's helped a lot with the snoring. So, yay, good for that, because I would snore, the room would shake. So here I am. I read the pathology report, and I did have P16. That is human papillomavirus that causes the cancer. And it was invasive squamous cell carcinoma. But luckily it was found in time. So I'll see the doctor, I think once a month for a couple of months, have CAT scans every 3 months, then see the doctor once every 3 months for a period of a year. And I'm going to stay on top of this. So I urge everybody out there, to please every 6 months go to your dentist and get a complete oral exam, or even an ENT once a year and get a complete oral exam. Um, it, it might well save your life. I never thought in a million years that I would ever have cancer on my tonsil. Here, but as we speak is behind me. And I'm trying to stay positive. You know, some days were worse than others. I had to put on my happy face. And when we went to Africa in June, some of the travelers on the trip said, "How did you do it, Mel? You knew you had cancer." Well, luckily my niece was along, and I'd spiral with her at night sometimes, you know, but I just kept my mind busy because I had 17 people on this trip, or 16, including myself, that, you know, I wanted them to have the time of their life, the best trip they've ever had. Many said they did. So I'm glad I went to Africa. It helped me a lot to face what I needed to face when I got back. In fact, when I woke up from surgery, this lady, I can't remember her name, but it was a face I saw when I went to sleep, and it was a face I saw when I woke up. I remember saying, "I can't talk," and they pulled this tube out of my mouth. And then I said, "Oh, I want to go back to sleep. I'm having the best dream." They were laughing. I go, "What's so funny?" They go, "What are you dreaming about?" I go, "Africa and gorillas." And they were laughing. I think they thought I was hallucinating. But then when some people from the OR came to see me the next day, I said, "I remember telling you about that dream." I said, "I don't know if I thought I was dreaming or if I was dreaming, but I was really thinking about Africa because we just went to Africa to hike up to the mountain gorillas." They were going, "That's incredible." So that whole trip and the memories of that helped me through this whole thing. But my voice is still a little weak, and hopefully that'll come back. You know, I used to always be a really fast eater, but now I'm slow. And I have to eat so slow, it's like my jaw gets sore. I still can't open my mouth really wide. That's it. That's as wide as I can get it because it hurts in through here. So I massage. Each day I try a little bit more to open my mouth a little more. If I ever have to go to the dentist, I'll know what they're going to do. Anyway, I'm sure that'll probably get a lot better too. So I'm rambling, but I just wanted to give everybody an update. And if you are diagnosed with something like this, it is not a death sentence. You know, with any kind of cancer, I think people spiral. Oh my God, am I going to get it all? Has it spread? And I think for me, I knew I had cancer. I didn't know what type. But I think for me, the hardest part was waiting for the biopsy results, even though I know it was cancer. Biopsy results from the biopsy from the tonsil, but also, even though the doctor said she didn't see any lymph node involvement with the naked eye, you still can't be sure with these lymph nodes until they look at them microscopically. And that was the hardest part. But my cancer was positive for a marker called P16, and that's HPV, and it was something called squamous cell carcinoma. But remember, it's not a death sentence. It's tough to go through. I just feel sorry for the people who have to go through radiation and chemo, but if they can beat the cancer at the end of the day, then I suppose the treatment is worth it, obviously. So if you see something that looks out of the ordinary, do not let the fear hold you back. Take care of it immediately. It probably will save your life. So I want to thank everybody for your kind and wonderful support. Linda Grindle and Kevin Lewis put together something on YouTube of all this, you know, the psychic community. And that was wonderful. All the love and prayers you've all sent. I'm sure that's helped my recovery. And I'm sure that it probably helped keep the cancer from spreading. So I'll get back to you with another update. And I just want to say I love all of you. Thank you so much for your kindness and support. And have a great day.